name is Kamisha Siblis. I'm a social worker by trade, but I am an assistant professor in the sociology department of the University of Toronto, and I'm a professor of criminology, law, and society with a specialist in Black Canadian studies. Prior to that, I was a professor at the University of Windsor at their School of Social Work. Getting to where I am has not been easy. I've had to endure many obstacles. I am a first-generation Canadian and the first person in my family to receive a post-secondary education, so I didn't have the pedigree or the frame of reference to look upon in order to sort of to be successful in post-secondary education. I grew up in a home with severe domestic violence, and I was traumatized by that. I had sexual abuse and assault in my youth and childhood from outside of the family, and then I was re-victimized by the criminal justice system when I chose to speak up against my perpetrator. The experience in the courts really had an impact on my mental health. I became reclusive on campus at university. I suffered with depression, clinical depression, and anxiety. And I still have to manage those things. I became a teenage mother. I was a mother at 17, and my son was part of the motivation to do well in life. I wanted to be a role model for him. He grounded me. Quite literally made me want to stay in place, seek stability, and be a success. Made me want to correct all the wrongs that I had experienced in my own life. And so I was determined not only to not be a statistic, but not to make him one. I began to be a social justice advocate after having been a recipient of Mother's Allowance or social assistance. I was also a client in child welfare, and so I was able to navigate these systems, and then became a social worker and worked within these systems. I was a child protection worker, I was a school social worker, I was a clinician working with mental health. My son was diagnosed with ADHD and had a lot of behavioral concerns early on, which was another struggle for me as a young Black mother within the school systems. He went on to do well academically and is now a Toronto police officer. I am currently working on projects that address anti-Black racism in education, in criminal justice, and in child welfare. I have worked with youth deemed at risk as a school social worker, and I work as a clinician assessing the effects of anti-Black racism on the lives of and mental health of convicts for courts to consider upon sentencing. One of my biggest achievements was writing the first impact of race and culture assessment for a criminal sentencing of a Black man in Ontario. These are also called enhanced pre-sentence reports, or Morris reports, or Siblis reports. And these reports tell the courts how systemic racism limits the choices of offenders and plays a role in their conflict with the law, and they're written to reduce the sentences of these men. Currently, I am the only Black woman professor in my department, and so the adversities continue, but I continue to push on, to rely on the resilience that I've learned from my family, my ancestors, and I'm honored to be here as one of the unsung, to just hope that I can be a beacon of hope for others. Know that we can push up against the odds, and I would like to thank the Black Diamond Awards Committee for their nomination and for honoring me here.
Hi, my name is Eddie Bullen, and I am a producer of music. I have a recording studio, I'm a piano player, and I have a record company. And I have been involved in the music business from the time I was born. My dad was also a musician. He had a music store, so that's where I worked from the time I can remember. And we repaired pianos, organs. We sold all the instruments, wind instruments, electronic instruments, organs. And I learned a lot of this, about the music industry from my dad. I spent most of my teenage years with my dad, and subsequently immigrated to Canada, where I went straight into the music business. I remember getting into Canada, and my second week I was on the road with a rock and roll band, kind of rock blues band, and touring. Then I started working at a place called Piano World with a gentleman by the name of Neville Bryant, who gave me a job, and I worked in his store repairing pianos as well. So not only I can play these things, but I can repair them and I can tune them. So I think it's a wonderful thing to have. I have two sons, Trey Michael and Quincy. I have two stepchildren, which is Ian, Disa. My wife, Joni, who passed away in 2015. She was my rock. So, and she passed away from ALS, that disease that there's no cure for. So I miss her dearly. However, I cherish my boys. We play together. They're both in the music business. We play together. Like I said, I'm also a producer where I've worked with many artists over the years. I've done several genres of music, reggae, calypso, pop music, jazz, R&B, country, reggae. When you grew up in the Caribbean, you were, pretty acquainted with a lot of different types of music. That the radio stations don't play one type of music; they play several different types. So, as a result, I'm able to kind of do a lot of different types of music, and that for me, that's a great thing. I have to really thank all the artists who've supported me over the years, who have trusted me with their songs and productions. To date, I've produced over 230 albums. And like I said, I've worked with many different artists. I've toured with many artists. I've, played on many stages. I've done several productions of my own actually. I've done over 40 different productions. and the thing is, it's just you persevere. You try to make sure that you stay alive. It doesn't matter what the business has, but you try to make sure that you stay in front of what is happening and stay abreast and stay in tune. I and I love what I do. I actually want to take this opportunity to thank the Black Diamond Award for reaching out to me and bestowing this award. I when you work, you don't even think of people noticing what you do. You just work and you try to do the best job that you could, and you try to supply or you try to support your family, and your family support you, and that's pretty much the main thing for me. However, when you get opportunities like this, where people recognize the contribution that you've made in the community, it's really wonderful, and for me, it's amazing. I thank you very much for reaching out to me. Black Diamond Awards. Thank you so much.
My name is Annette Selfarley, and I work at the Toronto Transit Commission as a Senior Advisor for our first inaugural Chief Diversity and Culture Officer. I've had a very rewarding career here at TTC, but it hasn't always been that way. For many years and under many different leaders, I have had challenges in getting recognition for the work that I do, or I've been overlooked for opportunities for continued career growth. And I realized I had to do something differently. And one of the ways that I thought would make a change was in getting a sponsor. The sponsor that I was able to connect with happened to be sitting at the executive level. And with the type of insights I was able to learn from him, and the types of access to information in terms of the way decisions are made has impacted me profoundly. One of the additional benefits of him being my mentor was that he also became my sponsor. He took an interest in my career. He wanted to open me up to opportunities that would allow for that continued growth. He saw potential in me, and that allowed me to move to different areas within the organization, learning the business, learning different aspects of the business. Something that I would never have had the opportunity to do had I not met him and had he not taken that interest in helping me to grow. One of the things that he did lead me to do was to start the Conference for Minority Transportation Officials, COMTO, and bring a first chapter to Toronto and to Canada overall. This is an American organization that was born out of the Black experience at Howard University in 1971. And he felt there was a need for this organization to be here in Toronto. As a result, TTC has supported this organization, and our goals have been to advocate for our members, ensure that career opportunities are available for them and career growth, to support the communities that we serve, especially in transit, where we flow through every one of our neighborhoods and every one of our communities, and then to give scholarships back to students. Now, the first two things we have done, we provide a lot of opportunities for events where we can speak about some of the challenges we've had, especially as Black people working in transit and transportation. And we're now starting to delve into looking at how we can help students who are interested in having a career in transit. and transportation. This is the work I'm most proud of, because one of the lessons I learned from my mentor was, I will help you, but it's incumbent on you to reach back and help others. And that is something that is so dear to my heart, and something that I've always looked to do with anyone that I've encountered, so that I can bring them forward with me as we continue to grow. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the Black Diamond nomination committees for allowing me to have this award and for welcoming me into part of this organization that I hope to be able to help in the future. Thank you so much.
CEO of GMI and host of the Brandon Gones Show, and I am so honored to receive this award. So I just want to start off by saying thank you. Thank you for acknowledging the hard work that not just myself is doing, but our entire team. You know, starting an independent media company, which by the way, we are now Canada's fastest growing, and we're Black owned, so hip hip, hooray. And let me tell you this, building this has not been easy. Mind you, we've been in operation for about 1.5 years, but you know, coming from the legacy space, and I know many of you might know me from that All News channel or prior to that, and jumping into what we're doing now has probably been one of the most fulfilling things I've ever done in my life. But it's also been one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. And you can't accomplish something like this without a truly strong, dedicated, loving team. So shout out to the team first and foremost. And the family, blood family and not blood family, but for holding us in your prayers and keeping us going. Because those are the real ones. Those are the people who are consistently motivating you while you're going through the motions to get to the highlights of which you all see on social media. Remember, we all just see the highlights. Nobody ever sees the grunt work to get to where we are today. And so we want to recognize all of that, but also remind ourselves and to remind you, let's remind you, I want to remind you, okay, why we do this, okay? Our why, and the primary reason why we started GMI, and why we started the show, and why we started News You Can Use, is because we wanted to create a platform for the community. We wanted to create a platform for people, ordinary people, right, to have a voice, to have their stories told. We are here because we are trying to make a difference. We are trying to make a difference in people's lives. We don't just want to tell stories. We want to advocate for people. We want to see change. We want to call for change. And I want to thank you for recognizing that and continue to support us, because this journey isn't ending. In fact, we are just beginning. And mark my words, year after year, we will become bigger and bigger. In fact, we're going worldwide. So you better have more awards for us. I joke. Anyhow, thank you for this award. The team thanks you. We appreciate you. And thank you to the Black Diamond Awards community. We love you.
Hello, I am Chidike Chinaka, and a banker by profession. In my over 3 decades in this profession, I have encountered a lot of challenges that has helped shape my career and growth, amongst which are the systemic racism I faced as a young, budding, ambitious Black professional that wanted to make an impact in his chosen career path, financial industry, way back in 2007. My inability to secure a sponsor for 4 years in order to obtain my fellowship accreditation with the Chartered Management Institute of UK, and my failure to break into leadership position in any Canadian financial institution on arrival in these shores in 2007, despite my over 20 years of banking experience across Africa and Europe at the time. Suffice to say that my never say die attitude and resilience helped me to overcome all these challenges to attain the height that I am in today. General Manager at CIBC, one of the flagship leading financial institutions in the world. Over the past 3 decades of my professional life, I have achieved so many firsts, but the most significant ones for me are being the recipient of the Quarter Achiever Award in June 2016 and September 2019 at CIBC, my rapid rise from entry-level financial services representative position in 2015 to general manager position in 2021 at CIBC. I developed, implemented, and trained key leadership initiatives for the Nigerian Customs Service management staff in 2013 for operational excellence and efficiencies. I was the team lead that delivered the e-detective forensics technology and laboratory for the modernization of business processes for the Nigerian Customs Service, the first of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa in 2014. I was also the first Black business and training consultant for Heritage Educational Institute, Glasgow, UK in 2005. My sincere gratitude to the Black Diamond Awards Committee for according me this privilege and recognition. Thank you.
Charles. I am a mom of 2 amazing kids, ages 16 and 12. I am a wife to an incredible man for the last 19 years of my life. I am a claims insurance manager by day. I run a studio also part-time, entrepreneurship, and Just to Sweat, a place where faith and fitness transforms life. I have a degree in kinesiology, a minor in sports medicine. I am also a CanFit Pro certified trainer. I opened up my studio, Just to Sweat, in 2017 with 4 people, my sister, 3 friends, because I wanted to go back into fitness. And God in His mercy, 2020, we had 40 women in the basement doing boot camps, one-on-ones, different things. And in the pandemic, I pivoted online to what I call just a Zoom Nation. So we were on Zoom Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. And on Saturday mornings, we do body weight, flex and flow. We have boxing. We have kettlebell workouts. We have dumbbell workouts. We have body weight. We have a variety. We use household equipments. We use the broom, pillow, water bottles, your chair. I can get very creative. That is my thing, to be creative. I am Nigerian background. My parents, we grew up in the inner city in Toronto, where I was labeled as having behavioral issues. And the school system said, put her in a classroom with all boys because they're all bad. And that's what they did. So I wore that label with pride. I was the behavior child. I got in trouble. I skipped school. I smoked. I drank. I got arrested. I did the absolute most. I got in so much trouble because that was my label to wear, and I wore it with pride. In 1997, it was spiraling out of control. My boyfriend at the time was murdered, and that's where God really stepped in His mercy. Looking at it now, I was uprooted from Canada to California on a scholarship to play basketball. And where did God take me? A Christian college, Christian university. Yeah, He's like, here you go. Everyday chapel Monday through Friday. I was given a Bible with my name on it. And that's where I sought God, and God met me in my lowest place. And I learned to build my relationship back up with God to the point where I am today. that even in a desert, even in a pandemic, he's prospered me. My business has grown from 40 women in my basement to online to over 100 clients online. My one-on-one clientele is at capacity. My semi-privates are capacity. My outdoor boot camps are capacity. God is so good. My business is based on faith and fitness because I love God and love people. And I also say that, you know what, though, to keep God first. For the last 5 years, I have made it my purpose to seek God first. Matthew 6:33. Seek God first and all things will be added. So in my seeking God, he's multiplied my business. And I'm so grateful that he's taken me from my dirt and my pain and my trauma to where I am today, a corporate manager, a business owner. Last year, I was on the cover of Can Fit Pro, the biggest fitness magazine in Canada. I was there front page for July and August. That is the hand of God. So I ask you to seek God first, and all things will be added. People that know me and know my business, I run it on mind, body, and soul, physical, mental, and emotional. I want to make sure your well is full. So every morning I get up early to fill my vessel so I can pour into other people's cups and fill their vessels, because that's my purpose, is to give people light and love, because we are light. So I want to thank the Black Diamond Award Committee for seeing me as God sees me and giving me this award. I am so grateful. I am honored. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and God bless you, and thank you for seeing me. Thank you for seeing me. I appreciate it, and I am honored to be nominated and given this Black Diamond Award. What an achievement. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Dwayne Geddes and I am a transit professional. I want to start by saying thank you to the Black Diamond Awards Committee for selecting me as an award recipient. When I first was told that I was being nominated by a colleague of mine, I actually wanted to know if there was anybody else that they could nominate, because I wasn't sure I was Black Diamond Award worthy. But I'm here and I got the award, so thank you very much. I'm truly honored and humbled to receive this award. So a little bit about me and my journey. I started in the transit industry 18 years ago as a streetcar operator on the front lines for the TTC. And I had aspirations to make my way up through the ranks to the senior management level. But unfortunately, when I looked up to the senior management level, I didn't really see anybody who looked like me, a person of color. And it made me believe that it wasn't possible to reach those heights. And perhaps I didn't belong up at those heights. And when you hear that enough, and when it's kind of generally understood in the agency and in the industry, you tend to believe it. You believe that, you know what, just stay where you are, don't aspire to do anything more or be anything better, and just stay where you're at. But then I met a mentor, and he spoke into me, and he let me really believe that I could make it up to those levels. And he said to me the complete opposite of that. And he just said, you know what, Dwayne, you can be a manager or a senior manager or a department head. And with some hard work and determination, I started to apply for those jobs. And I got those jobs. So I went from operator to supervisor, and from supervisor to assistant manager, and from assistant manager to manager, and then manager to department head of the TTC at Wheel-Trans. And most recently, as we go through this process here, in May of 2022, I've been promoted again to head sponsor of subways at Metrolink. So it truly has been a blessing after blessing. I think the most rewarding and truly gratifying part of this journey has been the opportunity I've had to encourage others and support them in their journey so that they can reach heights that they never thought were ever possible. And it's been an honor and a privilege to be able to sit on hiring panels and hire people of color who previously thought it was impossible to break barriers. So once again, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to the Black Diamond Awards Committee. I am truly grateful and humbled to receive this honor. Thank you very much.
Obasogie. I was born and raised in the ancient city of Benin, located in the southern region of Nigeria. I've been in Canada for the past 13 years.
An amazing Amazon, the trailblazing story of a lady with numerous laurels, Nekme Blessing Obasogie. A young girl growing up in Benin in a large family in the historic Oliha quarters of Benin City, but with a burning hope of a brighter tomorrow, even if in the skies. Her mother, Janet Esiliba, a struggling mother with much love in her heart, who either through culture or circumstances was skeptical about the prospects of female education. But Nekmen's father, an educated Benin man, Roland Obasogie, believed in the potential of Nekme at a critical age. Her father saw light in her that many could not comprehend when she was very young. This led him to bestow her with the name Blessing when she was about 12 years old in the Benin Kingdom. Most pathetic of all, Nekme became an orphan in her early 20s, leaving her with younger siblings to cater for. Such were the origins surrounding the now success story, Nekme Blessing Obasogie. No one would believe the hurdles and emotional challenges she had to endure to overcome and become what she is today, an author of a brand new 2021 book, Great Benin, the Alcazar of Post-Colonial Culture and its Relationship with the Europeans since 1400 AD, the current Assistant Secretary, Nigeria-Canadian Association in the Greater Toronto Area and environ, a recipient of the Toronto Police Service Black History Month Award in 2020, a mention and recognition as one of the prominent women in Benin Kingdom in a book titled Ancient Heroines and Modern Women in Benin Kingdom. Just 2 months after she published her first book, the Association of Nigerian Authors, Edo State Chapter, bestowed her with an honorarium pen award for publishing such an historical book in diaspora. These include many other awards she has received in Canada and Nigeria for her fascinating work. All these awards in a span of 13 years. Arriving in Canada in 2008, 13 years later, she is on everybody's lips. It can only be by God's grace. And behold, in September 25th, 2021, she launched a book, Great Benin, the Alcazar of Post-Colonial Culture, online in Toronto. The second session of the book launch was hosted in California in the United States on November 27th, 2021. What has been her motivation? It was the inspirational and guidance words her late dad passed on to her soul, stressing every time that education is the tool for success and breakthrough in life, the way out of doom. Dispirited at the demise of her father in 1994, it was like her world came crashing down, and there will be no one to provide that educational lever to see her through life. But she was never going to give up. Her father's words kept ringing in her mind, and that became the inner message that fired her up and saw her climbing the educational ladder years after leaving Ihogwe Secondary School, Benin City in 1994. Nekme Blessing Obasogie arrived in Montreal, Canada, in circumstances only she can tell the intimate story. Well, upon arriving in Canada, she took a decisive step to adapt to a Canadian and educational life. She had to repeat her high school education, not minding that she was in her 30s. Today, she has 2 first degrees, one in sociology and a second one in law and society, a master's degree in social work, and to boot, a certificate in refugee and migration studies, and currently working towards achieving her PhD.
This is actually a reminiscence of my childhood experience. I would like to dedicate this award to my late dad. He was my source of inspiration when I was growing up. My special thank you to Black Diamond Awards for this opportunity. I'm very delighted and grateful to be nominated for this prestigious award. Thank you to all the organizers and the person that nominated me for this award. Thank you all and have a wonderful night.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming in this evening for this special occasion, and I'm happy to be here with all of you. My thanks goes to Black Diamond for giving me this opportunity to be here to speak to you, reflect on my little bit of my life journey to Canada from Nigeria, where I grew up, arriving to the shore of Canada in 1990 with $10,000 in my pocket. And the idea is to go to start my master's degree in biochemistry with University of Waterloo. It was to be a 1-year program, but they directed me that it would be a 2-year program. And actually I got upset and refused to do the program because I know I have only $10,000 in my pocket. So, to say the least, I went into the city, and in less than 3 months the $10,000 is gone, and I have to struggle to survive myself and to sustain myself, accommodation, feeding. One disadvantage is that before I left Nigeria, my dad told me, if you come to Canada, instead of you being on welfare system, return home. We have things you're doing in here. So I didn't have that courage to seek for support from the government than to fight it on my own. And I started by having a pest control services. I went in to do my nursing program in Humber College, and went in to do my RON with Centenary College, and from Centenary College to Ryerson University to do my BSc Nursing. During this period, I was managing the private business of the pest control and cleaning services. It was tough to survive, but actually I made my first, good money to sustain myself in Canada through that period. That led me to going to school at the same time. And with Centenary College, with my degree in nursing and my degree in nursing, I went to work with Ridge Valley, which is now a Ridge Valley Health System, as a nurse in the front line in acute care. I served them for almost 10 years and went to Whitby Mental Health. From Whitby Mental Health, that's when I proceeded to do my master's degree. And from there, I went in to join into management in long-term care, going up north into the remote to practice, and surviving the remote and back to the city now, doing the same job. I'm director of care with Yi Hong Geriatric Center in Toronto. Prior to this time, I have also put time with Rotary Club as the president, past president, director of the club, and served in many capacities in Rotary Club, contributing to the community and representing them in many international conventions across the globe. And it brought me to the spotlight into the community. I also help people in our community activities. We've done the Anambra Asa Canada of Nigeria, Asa Canada of Canada, which is one of my community known agency or community service organization. And I received an award from Youth Now on Culture again for community contribution, for International Men Award from IDM, which is also very rewarding to me. And today the diamond is coming up to support all these, and I'm really happy that I'm receiving this award tonight. on top of my Paul Harris Award from the Rotary Club International, one of the highest award of Rotary Club. So I'm happy to have everybody in here today to support me. My gratitude goes to my family and friends who are here tonight, and again to the Black Diamond Award Committee for giving me this opportunity tonight. Thank you very much, and I hope everybody have a wonderful evening.
Hello everyone, my name is Donovan Smith and my occupation is an automotive technician. After completing a 2-year course in Jamaica, I migrated to Canada to live with my father. When I arrived here, my intention was to pursue this as a career. However, a few months after I was on my own, therefore I had to work odd jobs in order to take care of myself. While I was doing so for a few years, I enrolled at Humber College and completed a part-time course in HVAC, which is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. After I graduated, I was working with a very small company, but the business got so slow that they were not able to keep me. Therefore, I ended up again working odd jobs here and there for a number of years. I decided after a while, and I enrolled at Sheridan College as a driving instructor, meaning to teach people how to drive properly on the road. After the course was completed and I passed my exams, the economy took a downward turn, and so I had to give that up and return working odd jobs here and there. However, or at the same token, I've always been doing a bit of side jobs in repairing my friend's vehicle. I ended up working in a body shop for a period of about 3 years. From there, I ended up working at an automotive dealership where I got some more experiences. And while working there, I decided to branch out by faith in God to establish my own business. And thank God that has been successful. I enjoy it very much, and I'm able to be a blessing to others by sharing my faith with them, encouraging them in some of their issues in their lives. I want to take this opportunity to thank Black Diamond Award Committee for selecting me and allowing me the privilege to share this very short video with the intention of having some positive impact on someone who may be struggling, not achieving as they desire, but if they don't give up, they certainly can be successful. I believe Black Diamond Award Committee has done a very great and effective job in this area. And so I want to encourage them to continue to do what they're doing. Their labor will not be in vain. Thank you once more, Black Diamond Association, for this opportunity. God bless you. Thank you.